Stupid science.
Science. Pew, pew, pew.
Welcome back. It's time for Stupid Science with JD and Lisa. Where we laugh and learn. Laugh at stupid criminals. Learn from the geniuses of our society and the science news part coming up later. Right now, it is time, as always, for Stupid Criminals.
Welcome. Lisa Booker. And I already take offense at that intro. How dare you say there are no geniuses in the first part where stupid criminals are?
You're right. My mistake. In fact, we're going to start off here.
Go Florida.
We're going to Illinois for the first one.
Oh, okay.
I know. I understand your mistake there because usually this is just filled with Florida man only stories.
They do us a great service.
But we're gonna go abroad this time.
Mm-hmm. Abroad. Wow.
We're going to Illinois.
That's how it feels. Florida really feels like a foreign country.
It is. It's its own little universe, microverse.
Yep. The passport is alligator skin, in case you were wondering.
So. Our first stop today is for a stupid criminal story is in Illinois.
Put your tray tables
Lake
back.
Barrington, Illinois. A man named Mike DeCara has made the news in his sleep. He got himself arrested in his sleep. While asleep, he was dreaming that his home was being invaded. And of course, he had to protect his home. So So in real life, while asleep,
while he was a sleep hero,
he got his gun, his .357 Magnum, like what's the Clint Eastwood character?
Dirty Harry.
Like Dirty Harry carries. He got his .357 Magnum, and in his sleep, defended his home with his very real gun from his very imaginary. Invader. But he couldn't just shoot nobody because he's a man, so he shot himself in his sleep, his very real leg, with his very real gun in the leg.
It started as an action movie, I gotta save the day, but it ended as I gotta get rid of the worst person in this house.
He just managed to shoot himself in his sleep. With his gun. Why was his gun available to him in his sleep? Loaded and ready to fire. And just able to be grabbed by someone in their sleep.
Because somebody may need shooting. What? I taught myself a lesson, and I bet I won't break in this house again.
And of course, it was an illegal firearm because he had his license taken away from him.
No way.
By the state of Illinois.
Taken from this guy? Give me one good reason.
Yeah, in Illinois, you have to, unlike Florida, where you don't need no permission to have and carry a gun around. In Illinois, you need a firearm owner's identification card.
No, we don't need that. All you need is a pocket.
The details remain at this point unclear as to why he was previously revoked. I'm guessing because they felt he was untrustworthy.
Previously sleep shooting. We told you, okay, I'm going to give this back to you, but if you sleep shoot one more time, I would never. Give me my gun.
I am very secure with the gun.
Sleep shooting.
Loaded and available to be grabbed by. Was it in the bed? Was it under his pillow? Is he one of those guys that keeps the gun under the pillow?
Or the gun fairy's coming?
So what else we got? So also while we're still up in the Northlands, over in New York, where New York borders Canada is our next stupid criminal story.
Northland? You mean Yankee territory, but go ahead.
So American driver Andrew Lee Toppenberg.
Oh, that's nice.
Andrew Lee Toppenberg of Tustin, California. He's in New York. He's trying to make some deliveries of some product in New York. Makes a wrong turn. Ends up going to the border, the Niagara border crossing of Canada.
It's lovely here. Where am I?
It's beautiful. And of course,
does not look like the Bronx.
And of course, he doesn't have a passport on him because he wasn't trying to go there.
That's what getting lost looks
Which means they have to pull him off to the side. He gets his car searched, and they find his product, which is 181 kilograms of cannabis, over $600,000 US dollars in cash.
Wow. Oh, Andrew Lee. Oh, no, buddy.
So because he made a wrong turn and just kept going up to the border crossing, he didn't even stop. And like when he saw the big sign there that says U.S., I've been to the U.S. border with Canada. There's a big sign there that says Canada. It says U.S. Border Customs.
He saw those officers and like, they're going to help me out.
And he just kept going.
Excuse me, I got my paper map. Let me unfold this. Help a brother out.
He just drove right up.
Okay, we have to ask.
Me.
Pardon me, sir. Hate to bother you there. Yeah, it's our add to our commandments that are just like thou shalt not videotape yourself committing a crime.
Don't drive up to the officers of the law.
Yeah.
And ask them, is this the right way?
I was going to add, don't get lost. That's your responsibility.
It is.
To know where your drugs and money are going.
Oh, apparently, according to the article here,
wrong turn.
He was following GPS coordinates that he'd entered improperly. So
don't try to blame this on Apple Maps, sir.
No, he put in the wrong address, followed the wrong address, and just when he saw the sign there, just kept on going. Well, it's where the GPS tells me to go. That's where I gotta go.
I typed in, not the cops.
Hey, Mountie, you want in on this?
I'm so lost. This computer doesn't know nothing.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Don't worry. You can have this one. I got more in the back.
Didn't you legalize in Canada? You're not in Canada yet.
You sure? Because my map says...
In other...
Rerouting. Dumbing.
In other international... stupid criminal news.
Is it actual international, or are we going to like Nebraska this time?
No, this is actual international. Last one was on the border with Canada.
Oh, okay, I'm with you.
So this one takes us all
the way.
Our last
guy didn't make it, so this is actually international.
Yeah, this one takes us all the way to Finland.
That's lovely.
Helsinki.
Happiest nation.
Helsinki, famous for, presidents committing treason. But this one is a little more
mundane. He was very strong when he said he didn't do it.
This one's a little more mundane. The Finnish Transport Infrastructure Agency has busted one of the...
FTIA?
Yes, they're very tough. And they have busted apparently one of the... There's 4 deputy mayors, I guess, apparently in Helsinki, and one of the 4 has been arrested for graffiti. He was graffitiing the subway station.
For fucking tagging?
Yes.
That's nothing. Where are the hookers and where are the dead hookers and drugs at in this story?
Paavo Arhinmäki. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce that. I apologize to him and his family if I mispronounced his name.
Happy.
Age 46, and his buddy were caught by guards in a rail tunnel in eastern Helsinki on Friday after having completed a graffiti, which Finnish street art, I like this little tidbit, which Finnish street art experts said looked partly inspired by work seen in New York City in the 1970s.
Oh, go to hell.
So there's a critique of the graffiti.
It's a bit derivative of Basquiat. However, there's some inspirational points that can't be ignored. Son of a... Oh, that is a nice country.
Right?
I so want to give them shit for reasons I will never understand. But god damn it, that's your scandal for one of your 18 deputy mayors?
And why so many? Why so many deputy? Why 4 deputy mayors?
Maybe that's the secret to success. They seem... I mean, if this is the worst they do, double it. We're trying to reduce the number of politicians that are just sitting around getting free votes.
He has admitted, quote, I have committed a crime and bear full responsibility for it.
Hold up.
But he refuses to resign.
I think there's something wrong with your mic. Did you say full responsibility?
Full responsibility. He's going to pay a fine, I'm sure.
We're gonna check the audio on this. We apologize, listeners. There's no way that a politician said that.
Oh, well, he's a Finnish. But it's just a, what do you call him? Socialist country, so you know how those people are. They're real soft. They take responsibility. They apologize.
The worst thing they do is some graffiti art.
Some graffiti art.
I want to see it. I bet it's nice. That'll make me even more upset for some reason. I have no idea, listeners, but it just pisses me off. We're over here struggling in a new fiefdom, and they're just so happy. We're making bread and trying not to get evicted and catch the plague. And they're like, oh, we just love it over here in Finland. Do you? I'm not jealous.
All right. We're going to get Lisa some help. But for our final story here, we go to New Jersey. We come back to America, more or less.
That still feels international to me. Am I right, Florida? I've been to Jersey. That feels international.
Over to Jersey there. Mm-hmm. No Florida man stories this week. Our last story is going to be a Jersey story.
I am upset with you, Florida men and women. I know it's hot out there, But get your shit together and keep storing baby alligators in your sweatpants and stuff like that, like the good old days.
So I'm sure they'll catch up soon enough. But this,
I just put a call out. It's fine.
Over in New Jersey, so Miss Zayama Johnson, Zyeama, I guess Zayima.
I think maybe Zayama
Johnson, age 27. She's a former at age 27. She's already a former postal service worker.
I get it.
From
I've never
Jersey
worked
City.
there.
Was on the run for a crime in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. When she decided to go into the Hudson County Sheriff's Office and apply for a job.
I want to hear modern solutions to
As a security guard at the law enforcement agency. She was called into the station.
Done me.
So, of course, you may not realize this, but when you apply for a job at a police station, they do a background check.
But I bet they only check this county. Genius.
So they call her in for a quote-unquote job interview, at which point they arrest her.
Hey, suckers, they called me back in. I got this job. It's in the bag.
Then they go through her wallet and purse and everything and find 2 stolen credit cards that she brought into the police station with her.
Interview. I think you keep this up, kid. You're gunning for sergeant. That is memorable.
So it's not. She's not even on the job yet. She's just cleared 3 crimes.
Thanks so much, dear. So, did she get the job?
There's still a second interview with the judge.
Their stats look so good right now. They have just closed so many. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Zaima. Let me check your other pocket. Are there any missing persons in there? Wow. See you next week. Wow. She's the delight.
Jersey coming in strong. The stupid criminal.
There were 3 stories. Those were 3 stories. Zaima.
All
what? Right. I can't just go in and interview for a job nowadays?
On that note, we're going to take a musical break.
Wow.
And when we come back, we'll have some science news for you.
I felt like I learned something in this section. Science.
Stupid science.
Science. Pew, pew, pew.
Don't forget, y'all. Need something to read, some summer reading?
Mm-hmm. While we're all living forever.
The Disappeared by J.D. Adler. Paperback, hardback, ebook. JDAdler.com you'll be able to get your copies.
Very exciting.
You ever wonder what missing persons and Men in Black and aliens and big feet all have to do with each other?
I have.
The Disappeared by J.D. Adler will reveal all.
Such a great book.
Welcome back. Now it's time for our second segment, Stupid Science.
This is the science.
And first off, we're coming to Florida.
Yay.
Not so much, yay.
Oh, no. He's like, tamp that enjoyment down, please.
Scientists who have been observing the temperature levels around Florida, particularly in the water, have determined that surface temperatures around Florida have reached the highest levels on record since satellites began collecting ocean data.
They don't know.
Well, they do. Actually, they know. That's what I'm explaining to you. They do specifically.
Let me do the math on that. They do know. Darn it.
The warming is happening much earlier than normal in the year, and it is another example of ocean heat being amplified by the human-caused climate crisis.
Great. And we have officially just gotten rid of the term climate change and only exclusively using climate crisis. Yeah. Okay, I'm caught up. That's fair.
In some areas around Florida, the temperature has been as high as 97 degrees Fahrenheit in the ocean.
The water temp?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, you can get a nice cup of ocean tea. That can't be good.
Yeah, and which is, it's not only bad for us, but it's bad for the coral reefs. It's bleaching the coral reefs. The coral reefs dies. That's the bottom of the food chain. The bottom of the food chain dies. Well, you understand how chains work and dominoes work and all that.
Yep. Domino chains. Not good. This is awful.
Yeah, it's really a bad thing. And
wow. Hotter and hotter for longer.
Right, and they're still having arguments. The people who are capable of doing something are still having arguments about how much of our petroleum fuel we should actually give up and how much we should keep exploring and doing more. And the answer is we shouldn't have any. We should stop doing this altogether. It's like, how much arsenic should I have in my diet?
Exactly.
So the waters are boiling, is what they're saying. That is what they're saying. The oceans are boiling. There's nothing we can do. We're all going to die because apparently they're unwilling to stop doing the thing that's making the waters boil. What else? Scientists have discovered, this is a positive story.
I'll be the judge.
Scientists have discovered a way to capture electricity from the humidity, the ambient humidity in...
You know we've got tons of.
Yeah, the ambient humidity in the air. So they're calling it hygro, not hydro, but hygro with a G, hygro electricity.
I'm so excited. I'm on literally the edge of my seat. Take this humidity and make it useful.
In May, a team at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst, published a paper declaring that they had successfully generated a small but continuous electric current from humidity in the air. It's a claim that will probably blah, blah, blah.
Continuous, that's excellent.
The lead author, Professor Jun Yao, said it was an accident. They were trying to make a simple sensor for humidity.
Yeah.
And
somebody got zapped. And
a student forgot to plug in the power for the sensor array that they were creating. And they noticed that the device, which was made up of tubes and nanowires, microscopic tubes, nanowires, it was just generating an electric signal of its own.
I love this universe.
So the nanowires that we're talking about, they're like 1,000th of a diameter of what a human hair's diameter is. So nano, when we're saying nano, that's what they mean. And it's just wide enough to allow an airborne water molecule to enter. But it would bump around inside the tube.
Ooh.
And then each bump created a small material charge. And as there was more and more bumps in the same period of time, one end of the nanotube would have a different charge than the other, negative and positive. So it became like a battery.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And hey, pull this story and say meant to do it the whole time.
Right? And so now they're talking about creating like a fabric type thing, or a nano fabric.
Yeah, mesh.
Or nano wire, nano mesh, all these different types of things with all these holes in it, so that these micro holes, so that when the fibers go through, or the water droplets go through them, and all...
The bouncing.
Yeah, and so, like if the one nanowire creates just a small electric charge, but you have this massive textile.
Think exponentially. With
all these tiny little holes in it, creating all these little tiny charges combined together, it creates a decent charge. They're talking about device the size of a thumbnail could generate enough to light a single pixel on an LED screen.
Okay.
And so, what if it was a rooftop size?
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Continue the work. Amazing. There's so many other ways to either harness, generate, or create energy.
Yeah, so now this same concept, another team in Lisbon, run by Professor Svetlana Lubitschik, and her twin sons, Andro and Sergei Lubitschik, are trying to do something similar, called the Catcher Project, is to change atmospheric humidity into renewable power.
Wow.
It is they run this startup called Cascada Truva. It's intended to commercialize the research. They began back in 2015, and
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I am a little distracted because now that I hear two, if not competing, just based on the simultaneous research being done, it just, now I'm thinking about that movie, what was it, The Prestige?
Huh.
And so now I'm distracted. But I pulled back in. This is fascinating. I mean, just,
yeah,
I love it.
In other power-related news,
power,
science and power and all that. So, for the first time in history, scientists have demonstrated that wireless power can be power can be wirelessly transmitted from space and beamed to Earth.
Bull.
They had a solar power collector dubbed Maple. That's the name of the collector.
Oh, okay. I was thinking some kind of, yeah.
It's being tested by the California Institute of Technology, Caltech Space. They have a space solar power project, the SSPP.
Okay.
And they harvest solar power in space, and the goal is to be able to do this, to harvest solar power in space and then transmit that power. Because when you're trying to get solar power on Earth, right, you have to worry about nighttime or clouds or all these other impediments, the atmosphere itself.
Yeah.
But this microwave array for power transfer low orbit experiment, or MAPLE, it's an array of flexible, lightweight microwave power transmitters. They use electronic chips. They beam the energy to a specific location.
I am on board.
And so they're using microwaves, essentially, to transmit it. Once the power is collected in space, they use microwaves to send that power to Earth. And then you can have a station where, it either sends it directly to homes or it collects it in batteries or whatever.
Catch it and disperse it.
So now that they've proven that it can be done, that Caltech has proven this, the next stage is to make it, because right now you would need so many arrays up there to power a city that you'd be blocking out the sun from our access, which, we're not the only ones who need that solar, the plants and the trees and whatnot that we also need to live off of.
Allegedly.
So there's a lot of efficiency issues and stuff that needs to be figured out. But now that they figured out that it is a thing that can be done,
proof of concept, let's fund it.
Yeah.
And perfect it.
So that would be, that's free power, other than the infrastructure to transmit it from space and to the homes. That's a free source of power. You don't have to worry about getting coal. You don't have to worry about getting oil, whatever. Which is pretty cool.
That is very, very cool.
In other similar technology.
Okay. You are obsessed with power this week. You are power mad, sir.
Well, this is similar in that it's wireless from space, but it's not about power. It's about navigation. GPS, right?
Yep.
We have GPS, we get but it's...
Yeah, I know GPS. It told that guy the wrong turn, and then he got lost on his way to Canada.
It didn't tell him the wrong turn. He gave it the wrong address. He didn't, but...
How dare you blame... Yeah.
A team has published a new paper in the journal iScience.
Okay.
Which would allow for an alternative wireless navigation system that relies on cosmic rays, or muons, instead of radio waves. Which means you wouldn't have to worry about being in a tunnel, or being indoors, or being in a cave at the bottom if you're in a spelunker or whatever.
Yeah.
Because muons pass through everything. They come from the sun. They are massless energy. They pass through everything. And they fall equally across the Earth. They always travel at the same speed, regardless of what matter they traverse, even kilometers of rock, according to the co-author Hiroyuki Tanaka of Muographics at the University of Tokyo in Japan. By using muons, we have developed a new kind of GPS, which we have called the Muometric Positioning System, or MUPS. 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 I like MUPS better, but whatever. Which works underground, indoors, and underwater.
Interesting. Indoors is fascinating. So
that's amazing. They've used muon imaging to pick up signals indicated in a hidden corridor behind the famous chevron blocks on the north face of the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. They've detected a mysterious void in another area of a pyramid, the same pyramid. So they've used muons to find things that they couldn't find before.
Right.
Because its ability to pass through whatever.
That structure.
Yes.
But muons don't care.
Right. And for our final science technology story today,
Science.
we're going to go to the world of video game. They're mixing, real world and the video game world, so you're some way interacting with the real world. Mm-hmm. So now they're doing what are called haptics, and for those of you who are not, a part of this world,
you can feel it.
Haptics means you can feel it. The thing that's happening in the game, you can feel physically happening to you, and the things that you feel and do will then also occur in the game.
Yep.
So Assassin's Creed is coming out with apparently this new shirt vest type thing.
Oh, this is not just merch.
No.
This is
haptic. It's a T-shirt. It looks like
wearable.
a T-shirt when you first look at it, but it is a wearable part of the game that has this haptic skill. Oh. And if you get punched in the game, if you fall off a building in the game,
which so happens, I have missed climbing up the buildings. I'm looking at you, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
And they say, quote, "You'll feel exclusive sensations never felt before." Now, just to be clear, this is a shirt only. There is no lower body part of this, so it is not dirty. It is just violent.
Excellent. That is my language.
And it includes haptic points at your chest, stomach, lower back, and arms.
Oh, I'm going to feel it in the ribs when I try to climb a tree and it doesn't work.
So you'll feel things from wind to a dagger.
I was just
this seems really dangerous. If people have heart issues and whatnot, but I guess that you're going to sign some sort of waiver. But you can use a mobile app to
or as I say, don't get mad, get better. This is
so there
amazing.
Are mods for certain games. There are a handful of games that it's native to.
This is fascinating because I know there are haptic gloves. You pick something up, you can feel it, and you pull back a bow and arrow, and you can feel it. There's a little bit of recoil from guns. This is really feeling when you don't hide well and the enemy shoots you right in the chest. Fascinating.
Yeah, you're going to feel... It's like imagine, for those of you who don't play video games, imagine you're boxing someone and you take a shot to the ribs. You're going to feel that shot to the ribs. Although I imagine it's still not going to feel like reality, which is probably for the best, because there are people shooting and murdering each other in these games. Mm-hmm. But it's not going to be absent sensation.
The sensation. This is fascinating. I like this step forward. This is fun.
Well, it is worth pointing out that if you took a martial arts class, you could feel like what it's like to get punched in the ribs for real. But anyway, if you wanted to enjoy reality, all I'm saying
are not flattering. I'm sorry.
That's fair. But I'm just saying, if you wanted to feel reality, you could actually feel reality.
All right. This
80s
kid is like, I don't know what you're talking about. Ever since I saw Mario jump up and punch a mushroom, I was like, digital world for me, please.
It is pretty impressive, the idea of all these, that they can make, not only can they make the game do this, but in the operation is so quick that it's going to feel in real time. When you get punched, you're going to feel that happen right away at the same moment. The computer is that fast.
Yeah. Even the controllers now, that you get that haptic reactions right now. This is fascinating. This is fun. Again, more reasons not for me to leave my house and go in that humidity. Humidity apparently is only good for one thing: electricity.
This is what we learned today. All right. Well, Laugh and Learn, JD and Lisa, thank you for coming to Stupid Science.
We love you.
And we will see you again, or talk to you again next month.